Greetings, warriors. We're back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are on your purpose. Hope you guys are becoming those unpredictable men and women out there. And got some nice comments and quotes and things. And I think the thing to remember, my friends, is the fact that no one is better than anybody else. We all play a role in our world that God created for us. And He created us to play those roles. And I believe that when you get to the point of people starting to argue with who is better, what gender is better, what race is better, this is all against God's purposes. We all should love each other and be those strong warriors that take care of each other and help each other when necessary. And I think when we look at these type of things, it's very important. Now, this is not a common philosophy right now in our society, but it's the correct one in my viewpoint. I think we're caught in a world where people want to divide, and there's probably nefarious reasons for that, which I think are there. But the thing is that we have to stand strong and be those warriors and not allow that to happen. And so, comments I've received, and I appreciate people, kind of chiming in, men and women. I've had a lot of women comments lately, and I love those because, I think we need to talk about those type of things. Now, I'm 60 years old, so I've lived through a lot of different types of generations here, and I see the differences between what we did before and how we looked at things. Now, of course, you never want to abuse that basic principle of loving one another. People need to love each other. There's no doubt about that. That is what we need to do. So people abuse that, and that there is no recompense for that. And I think that that and your maker will have to decide for those people who are doing those type of things. That is not for me to judge, but that's really for God to judge for each one of these individuals. Now, beyond that, we have to make sure that we follow the commandments and follow the rules of things in our society. And as a result of that, men and women, masculine frame, feminine frame, are all needed. It's complementary. We need that. But when you have roles that are changing, that are not what God intended, and God in the Bible and God's Word came out long before all these different types of so-called, situations in our society over the last, 400 or 500 years. It's been around thousands of years. And so the course of human nature does not change. The science, technology, all these things may change, but humans do not change. And God knows that. And this is why the Bible is still very practical, no matter what type of generation you're in. Now, when we talk about this, the other key thing, as we talked about the last time a little bit, is that as a male, you have a certain type of expectation in God's rule, in God's book, in God's laws. And that male is to be a strong male who loves their wives, but also is a male who can be strong and protective, and a male who can actually go ahead and protect their families and things around them. And so that male has to be strong to do that. But that male also cannot be very subservient with things that they believe is right and wrong. They need to be in charge of certain things in the family. And this is when you become this unpredictable person. Now, another way to look at this is that, and I saw this in a couple videos, you're talking about a controlled, dangerous person, dangerous male. A male who is under control, but is unpredictable, is really the type of person that is very, very attractive. Now, why is that person attractive? Well, first of all, you don't know what that person's going to do. You know that they're going to try to protect the family, go out and get money, make sure the family can survive, those type of things. That male will always do that. At least that male that has a masculine frame will do that. Okay? That male also, but is someone who is under control. They're not going to lose control, and they're not going to go ahead and start, abusing things around them or abusing people around them. They're going to be in charge of the situation, and they're going to be in charge of themselves. And we go back to retention again with all this. We go back to retention and saying that a controlled, dangerous man can be very successful, can be very attractive, because this person is a person who, under the rules of the Lord, have a masculine frame, but they also need to provide security, so that the people in the family, the kids, the women, the family, the wives, understand that. Now, am I saying that women cannot protect themselves? No, of course not. Women have ways to protect themselves just as males do. But according to my interpretation of the Bible, there has got to be one head of the household, and that has to be the male. Doesn't mean the male is any better or worse than the female. It's just that that's the role they're playing. And the female also has to have their role. And they need to be both subservient to each other in different ways. And I think that's the key in how people get along. But when power goes to people's heads and they think that they're better than other people, this is when you got the attitude problems. And I see it all over the place. Ego is the most dangerous thing you can run into. When a person has an ego and they think they're better than God, they think they're better than other people around them, you see this in their behaviors. But they become very self-destructive because they're out of control. This is why we go back to the two requisites of being a strong masculine male. And that's unpredictability, and that's control. And the control goes back to the nature we're talking about in your journey and retention. And I know if I'm at 550 some days right now, and I understand this a lot better now as each day goes by. The real key to a lot of this is being in charge, commanding the energy and the forces around you to connect with your energy. How in the world can you do that if you're losing your energy 2, 3, 4 times a day? It's impossible. How are you ever going to try to, have command of any of the energy forces around you that way? This is why when you look at Genesis in the Bible, you talk about how Jesus was able to be in command of the animals and of things around them. The physical reason for that is the fact that your energy level as a male, because of the retention, puts you in a whole different dimension. It puts you in a whole different energy level, chakra level, because the energy you have is so strong that people see that as you walk around, you walk into rooms. Now, you may not identify it as time goes on, and it's harder for me every day because I'm so used to my new lifestyle that I can't even understand what I was doing before the 500 and some days. But I do know that I never want to get back there again. That I do know. But the thing is that as well, is that the idea is that you're trying in this whole new lifestyle to now look at your energy in a way where you can help the world, help society, build things, and build things up around you. And the whole key to a lot of it is the fact that you're using your energy in a way where now you are not dissipating it. You're now connecting with things like a magnet around you. And so focusing on a goal like making a certain amount of money will allow you to now find avenues to do that. And that's just happened to me recently. All right? Looking for energy, looking to try to increase yourself in benefits physically, and I've seen that as well. Looking at things in relation spiritually, looking at things around you. But the idea that you need to have a dangerous side to you is not really dangerous. Dangerous means reckless. and that means out of control. It's kind of like an oxymoron a little bit here, where you're talking about a controlled, dangerous person. But I like to use that phrase because the idea then is you're trying to almost like have a monster mentality. You are a monster, like a Frankenstein, rolling around. You have that ability to have just superpower, but you're controlled with superpower, only using it at certain times that you need to. And that makes all the difference in the world as far as how much of traction you get. And I'm not even talking about male and female attraction, if you're female as well compared to a male. I'm talking about attracting all those things into your life because of the energy force you have. And guys, this is the key to, again, this whole thing, is that when you retain and when you're on your purpose, you're creating an energy force that is so powerful that people have to notice it. They cannot get away from it. And as a result of that, then what you're seeing is all these things come to you, and you become a very attractive young male, in this case, or young female. And those things then are things that you can use to be successful, given the fact also that with these things you also realize a level of responsibility. I collect a lot of Spider-Man books from back in the old 60s, and some of my ones my dad gave me a long time ago when I was growing up. And I love the old Spider-Man. And one of the great lines always, and it was in the movie as well, is that with great power comes great responsibility. And this is something that is a key. So once you have this power, you can use it to help people. You can use it for the betterment. Now, it doesn't mean you're taking advantage of people. This is where you become reckless. All the leaders that we've had, and I like to look at military history a little bit when I talk about this. When you look at a lot of this stuff going on around us, we see very easily that people can use these type of things to their benefit or to their danger. And what ends up happening is a lot of people use these things and they lose control. They get too big-headed, or they start abusing their power. You can look at examples in World War II. You can look at examples in a lot of other places over the years, Napoleon and Hitler and all these people who they got so much power, all of a sudden they lost sight of their responsibility for the people. It became more about that person than about the people. And this is always the danger when it comes to trying to use this powerful energy you have. And so you want to be a dangerous, controlled person, but you want to use the power to be able to show benefits to mankind that are going to help this world become better, especially during these turbulent times. Things will get better, and you have to be part of that getting better by using the energy in a positive way. All right, guys, until next time, battle on!